going to start from you, Shola. What elements would you say have contributed to your success story?
Okay. I think the key thing for me is recognizing that I have something. Everyone has something. I always say, what's your superpower? There is something you have that somebody else does not have. And I think that's the key thing for me. You know, sometimes, especially in my early 20s, you know, there's this thing like you keep comparing yourself to other people, you see people doing better things, and you feel like, you know, what am I here to do? But the moment I realized that there's something about me that is different, that somebody else does not have, that doesn't mean it's better than what you have, but I have something. I particularly love this story. It's in the Bible, and I think it's in some other historical books as well. It's about the parable of the talents, where the master gave 3 people talents. He gives somebody 5, another 3, and another 1, I think, and then he went away. And then he came back and said, come and give report of what you have. And the one that has 5 said, oh, this is what I've done with it. The one that was given 3 said, this is what I've done with it. And the one that was given 1 hasn't done anything with it. And so he didn't say, you know, because you have 5 talents, you know, that means your reward is greater. Or because you have 3, your reward is greater than the person that has 1. The key thing the master was looking for is that you've utilized what has been given to you. It's not about the quantity. It's not about, some people would say, okay, I'm from a poor background, that means I'm disadvantaged. But have you ever seen someone who is great today because of their poor background? I have seen that the only thing that has kept them going is because they have come from a very disadvantaged background, and they have said to themselves, I'm going to break all the boundaries and I'm going to make something out of myself. So the same thing that is limiting somebody else is, you know, motivating someone else to achieve greatness. The day I read that story and I realized that it's not about how many I have, it's just about what I have, being able to utilize it. That's all life is about. I think that's a key thing for me. So at every point in my life, I'm always thinking, I don't have everything. You know, I'm not talented at everything, you know, but I could write. That was how the website started. And, you know, I tried to write for many magazines. I probably didn't understand how to get in, you know, at that initial stage. And I just thought that I could do this thing myself, you know, and then from there it goes on and on. And even till now, right here as I'm here, my present phase of life, I'm still thinking, what is that thing that I have that I can still make use of? I think that's the key thing. You identify it and then you keep working on it.
That's amazing. Can you look your neighbor in the eye and say, it's not about what you have, it's about what you do with what you have. All right, John, would you answer the same question as well?
Okay, repeat the question.
What factors would you say have contributed to your success story?
Okay, well, first off, I don't know where you guys got that bio from. I mean, it's true, everything in that bio happened, but, you know, that was my Surulere story you put out there. But it's cool. I want to pick up from what Shola started with earlier on, you know. People respond to pressure differently. To one person, they experience pressure and it breaks them. They go into a life of depression, drugs, crime, yahoo, and all the other vices. Because when you see armed robbers today and they catch them, why they do this kind of work? My papa don't get money. My man don't get money. It's the same excuse. But when you see some other person who experienced the same kind of pressure, in the same kind of environment, the same kind of temptations, that is their own fuel to achieve greatness. So growing up, I grew up very, very deprived in many ways. So that was my own fuel. That was my own fuel, and that's what propelled me to really develop myself. I remember when I was 15 years old, I realized that, you know, my father was never going to be rich. Yeah, I saw it, and at that time it dawned on me that if I was ever going to enjoy anything I was fantasizing about, it was going to be up to me. 15 years old, we were based in Port Harcourt that time. I was trekking down the streets of Port Harcourt. That was in 2000 and how old was I in 2002? Minus 1886, 2 minus 6. How old was I? Do the math for me. 16 years old, yeah. 2012, 16 years old. 16 years old, I was walking down the streets of Port Harcourt looking for where I could learn website design. 2002, because I knew computing, I knew I had a talent for it. Web design was kind of like totally new at the time. Very few people knew how to do it, so I wanted to learn that. I began walking the streets of Port Harcourt looking for where I could learn that. I found some 30,000, 40,000. I couldn't afford that. And then the next year, 2003, I got into the University of Port Harcourt. And I was walking into my hostel one day and I saw on the notice board in front of my hostel, learn web design, 1,500 naira. Call Uyi. Put the number there, this room. I was like, wow. You know, I went there, called the guy, and that's how I started learning. At that time, the only way to learn such skills was to go and pay for all-night browsing. Who remembers all-night browsing? Yeah. Yes. Some people will say, I don't have laptop, I don't have internet. See, when one guy beats you, the thing will come, you go see him, don't worry. The vision will open for your eye. You say, my phone, I don't change your pigeon now. All right. So we did all-night browsing. I know because the time is finite. It's a few hours you have till daybreak. I had to learn everything about web design in one night. In one night. So I had to be attentive because once you're gone, there's no laptop that I could use to practice. I had to do that. So I did that. I learned it. Then I paid for I think 2 extra nights over the next month to come and practice. I was coming to pay for all-night browsing so I could practice web design. And that's how I started. And from there, it began. I don't want to use this to take up all the time to talk about my whole story because I think other questions are going to come. But to answer your specific question, what contributed the most? But the biggest thing that contributed to where I am right now was being able to realize at the age of 15, 16, that if it's going to be, it is up to me. At that age, I took responsibility for my life, for my destiny, and I said, look, this thing called personal responsibility, by hook or by crook, I have to learn it. This is up to me. And again, I guess it helps that I'm the first of 5 kids. So naturally, Nigerian firstborns are pressured with a lot of responsibility. So that I acknowledge as one of the things that really propelled me forward. And today, I mean, I lead a lot of Nigerian youth, and I see a lot of people talking about why they are not able to do the things that they want to do. Oh, if my father had encouraged me more, if my siblings had been more supportive. What are you talking about? Look, let me tell you the only reason you have siblings and parents, all right? Because God does not make man out of the dust of the earth anymore. God does not make women out of rib anymore. Every human being has to come through a woman. And now, because a couple of human beings have to share womb space, that's why you are siblings. That's why you have parents. But your destinies are very different. They are not intertwined unless it's specifically revealed to you so. Everyone's life and destiny is different. If your father was one kind of awesome father, Abraham, that will come and be building your self-esteem, good for you, you won the lottery. But if not, their own was to bring you to this world safely, you were not aborted. That you arrived safely. Bam, give them a round of applause and start planning your life. End of story. Next question.
Thank you. Please put your hands together for Josh. If it's going to be, it's up to who? If it's going to be, it's up to you. I think that's something that a lot of young people have to learn, because you just hear, maybe a lot of us listen to music a lot and they hear 30 billion for the account, and you just want to wake up tomorrow morning, do a big deal and see 30 billion. So I think we really need to talk about the kind of values that we should imbibe as young people. He talked a lot about self-development, about hard work. So probably you could touch a little on that. What values do we need to imbibe? And talk a little about patience too. How you can't just really wake up and see 30 billion.
Okay. Many people say this. When you see someone who has been successful in something and you say, how did you do it? They will tell you hard work. And many people just feel like, tell us, like hard work. Everybody says hard work. Everybody's working hard. But the truth is, when we talk about hard work, which is something that took me a long time to understand, it's not just about the physical work. It's not just about, oh, okay, I wake up, I'm working, I'm busy. It's not only about that. The physical part is also hard work. It's also the mental hard work. It's also the spiritual hard work. It's the emotional hard work. It's the psychology hard work. It has to be all balanced. Let me give you an example. I remember then when I finished school, and I'm sure many of you have experienced this. You come out of university and like, what next? You don't have wealthy parents or uncles or siblings who have arranged job for you. You have to eat the streets, and look for a job. And then I was so frustrated about staying at home. I printed my CV and I started going from one office to another to drop my CV. And I would do that day in, day out, and nobody was calling me back. It took me a while to realize that I felt like when they say, you need to work harder, I felt that was what they meant by working hard. But it took me a while to realize that that's not only it. When you submit your CV, what hard work has gone into making that CV? What mental hard work has gone into it? Have you gone on the internet to research how to write CVs, how to write personal letters? How to make your CV stand out from other people's CV. So it's not just that I'm working hard, I'm calling everybody I know, I'm sending out my CV. Have you done the mental hard work into making sure that that thing is what is the quality it's supposed to be? Have you done the emotional hard work of identifying what areas should I actually be looking at? What's my strength? What's my weakness? What do I need to develop in terms of my attitude, in terms of the way I talk to people, in terms of communication? Have you done the hard work of the spiritual as well? Have I taken time? Do I believe this can happen? Is my mind in a positive state to receive this thing that I say? So when we talk about hard work, it's not just the physical thing. I see a lot of young people thinking it's not all about the physical. It has to be all round. You need to develop, put in the hard work in every single aspect of your life that makes everything well-rounded, especially in the mental aspect. I work with a lot of young people. In the past 5 years, I've have daily contact with thousands of young Nigerian graduates. And then you see that many people have dreams. That's not the problem. That we have so many people with big dreams. But bridging the gap between where you are and how to achieve that dream, there's a whole lot of things that many people are not aware of. And the key thing is that hard work. Hard work again, not just the physical. Have you done thorough research into it? Have you invested in yourself, in knowledge, in your mind, So those are all the elements of hard work. There's no way around it. Even the 30 million in your account, the person is working. I heard he has one of the, like the baddest work ethic in the industry. So that is a really, really hard worker. Yeah. So it doesn't happen like that. Like I always say, nobody is coming to rescue you. Like I think that's what he was trying to say. Nothing is coming. Just forget that something is coming. No, somebody is going to open the door and say, yeah, come on. Nobody is coming to rescue you. You have yourself to get yourself out of any situation you want to. So I think for me, personally, and it's something I keep discovering. Not like I've arrived yet. At every phase of my life, I'm thinking, what can I do extra? What extra can I add in all the different aspects that makes me whole?
Thank you very much. I think that's very, very important, what she just mentioned, because we need to get to a point where we don't just depend on people to get stuff done for us. And they need to understand that if you have a dream or a vision, you have to wake up and make it work. Please put your hands together. Our guest speaker, Mr. Olakunle Soriyan, is around. as I was saying, it's important that you sit up and say, what can I do to make it work? The best way to see your dreams come to pass is to wake up and actually work on them. And I think, John, I really want to talk about the values that are necessary for young people, especially entrepreneurs. Because some people think that once you start working for yourself, you're relaxing. But when I resigned my job, started working for myself, I realized I was working harder than I was working when I was working for somebody else. So what values do young entrepreneurs, if you want to begin a startup, what values do you need to put in place to get that done?
Okay, so when you say entrepreneurs, there are different industries here. I think every person here should focus intensely on growth. Right now, I've said this a number of times, so whatever I do, people look at me like, nah, you're just trying to be motivational. There used to be a time when I would rather die than sit up here and talk to people. I'm not joking, right? My comfort zone was no more than like 5 people, all right? Does anybody here play FIFA, soccer, PS4, or any PS? You play, right? You see player statistics. That is how you should measure your growth. Last year, you were shy of public speaking. How are you doing this year? Last year, you could not wake up early enough. How are you doing this year? Last year, you did not show up early to your commitments. How are you doing this year? Last year, you were making XYZ amounts of money, producing XYZ number of products, having XYZ number of clients. How are you doing this year? We need to focus on that growth, and growth takes a lot of patience and hard work, all right? I get a lot of messages. People are like, oh, Obidi, I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, but do you know how patient I had to be when I started? Knowing that, okay, there was a time when I first started, I told myself, look, just relax. Things are a certain way just now, but if you just keep on doing what you're doing, you will laugh at these days. All right, but all these 30 billion in the accounts, it's always spoiling people's minds. Don't just mean, how do I hammer it now? You want to do what we are doing, but not what we have done. All right? So that growth is going to be painful. It's going to be, you have to be very patient with it. There are many people here, there are people that are going to be speaking here that you want to be like. But how many steps have you taken in the last 30 days or 90 days to bridge the gap between where you used to be and where you are going to be? Those of you who have never tried to talk to people before, if you want to market your product, you have to talk. Nigerians, they carry shoulder. So who just they carry shoulder? Shout, you need help. Shout, market. Do you understand? Some of you here, and I'm very empathetic, to come here and speak to everybody here now, you are going to be shaking. I understand, it's okay, I used to be there before. But what steps are you taking to break out of it? Will you come to Success Stories Africa next year with the same sickness? No, think about it. Because, it's very flattering. We come up here, we talk about it, you guys take a couple of selfies, and I appreciate all that. I love all that. But we are doing these things so that we can bridge the gap. Success Stories Africa is not for us to come here and just flatter ourselves with what we've done, but we are hoping that we can raise Nigerians to the level where everyone can begin to chart their own destinies by themselves. So back to your question, growth is going to be painful, but you have to persevere. It's going to take time. So can you invest in something and just chill with the hope that in 5 years it's going to come to maturity? To some people, 5 years is too long. And that's why you've been dabbling. Today you are doing this one, next one you are letting this one. Can you just believe in the law of seed time and harvest? Can you just have faith and put it there and keep on watering it? Pursue the goats away. You know who the goats are, Abi? Plant the yam, protect it from the goats, pursue the goats, apply pesticide, apply manure, keep on sowing, keep on watering, keep on weeding, keep on tilling the ground, and then wait. There's so much you can learn from farmers.
Yeah.
Farmers are very patient people, but a lot of us Nigerians who are not very patient. Next, tomorrow now, you see your friend that you finish school with, he's driving home. What are you doing? He says real estate. Oh yeah, you don't have real estate. The 6 months you spent investing in what you are doing right now, whether it's catering or whatever, you've abandoned it. It didn't work out again. And that guy comes and says, oh boy, now Bitcoin, they work now. They are laughing. We see it on Facebook. You leave that one, you enter Bitcoin, 3 months, oh boy, nothing. Oh boy, forex trading now, the bomb now. My neighbor just buy cheap now, forex now. And people just keep on dabbling. See, there's money in everything. There's money in everything, but can you sit down and just plant on that soil and have patience and let it grow. That I think everyone can take away from this.
That was my next question.
Okay, opportunity social media. All right, so at the time that bio was written, I was a social media strategist, but I've grown since then. What I do now is online business coaching. I help people monetize their online businesses. One of my talents now, my current talents, is in helping you know how to monetize anything that you're doing using the power of the internet. All right, so opportunities in online market or in online business, I don't know, it's a bit broad. I'll need case studies, but let me just give some kind of broad case study. Information marketing. What is information marketing? Information marketing is marketing information, selling information. Let me go down. Selling what you know. What it means is that you package what you know into something that someone can consume, a digital product. For example, an ebook, an audio, or a video course. I'm not talking from theory. I've sold hundreds of millions of naira in witchcraft products, as I call them, because you can't see them. They are digital. I remember one time I saw Bill Gates talk about Microsoft and I think Windows, the operating system. And he said that when you have a good software, it's like having a bank where you just mint money. Because you don't have to create the software, you just copy paste, and that's what information marketing is. Once you create your digital product, you can sell to as many people. All right, so it's a matter of packaging what you know into a digital product and selling. That is what I really do now. That's what I teach people how to do. So if you know how to do makeup, for instance, there are people who are dying to know the business of makeup. Now, I'm thinking, if I were to organize seminars, even if I were to organize seminars every week of the month, I would not make as much money or reach as many people as I really would love to reach, right? But when you can make that into a digital product, either an ebook or a video course, and you learn to sell it, you can reach many people, all right? One of the reasons why a lot of people know me right now is because of this maxim I adopted. The internet is the closest thing man has come to being omnipresent. All right, so that is the big opportunity in information marketing, and everybody here knows something. Some things that we know and we take for granted. Let me do something, and even though I don't want to distract anybody here, but if you just Google John Obidi Skillshare, you'll find something. Skillshare is an international platform I was experimenting with some time ago. It's an international platform where people put their courses up and the platform pays you for everyone who watches that course. So if you check that platform, I have 3 courses there, about 1,000, between 1,000 and 1,500 people have taken my classes there. Only about 1% of them are Nigerians. And I did not spend a single dime in advertising.
Wow.
All right. And if you look at the courses there, take a look at the classes I was teaching. I was teaching them how to create nuclear weapons. I was teaching, one of the classes was how to create images for Instagram. Something that many people do here very easily. Another one was, I think, about WordPress. Very simple things, okay? So that is one way that you can take advantage of that. Another one, which is more profitable, is if you can create your own products, productify your own knowledge. If you know how to, let me use Bitcoin again, because everybody's just doing Bitcoin these days. I'm not a disclaimer, but for want of a better example, you know how to do Bitcoin, or you know how to design websites. There are people who also want to know how to design websites, create a product from that, all right? There are free tools all over the internet. If you want to know how to do it, you do it. I don't have to give you a list of tools. Just go and Google it, do your research. You can create video courses in less than 5 minutes, all right? I have some free courses on our Smart Camp Academy you can take and learn how to create your online course in less than 24 hours, all right? But video courses, audio programs, you think audio programs don't sell? Audio programs sell. I've sold tons of audio programs. And sometimes you can say, I don't have a laptop. You can get your phone. There's an app called WavePad. Okay, it's on Android, it's on iOS. WavePad, you can just hook up your earpiece. If you don't have earpiece set, just hold the phone to your mouth like this and just be recording. Then you edit, it becomes an MP3 file. You can sell that audio course. There is a platform you can start with. It's free, totally free, so you don't even need your own website. It's called Teachable. Write it down. Teachable.com. You can upload your video course there, you can upload, if it's a PDF, you can upload your audio course, and you can sell that to Nigerians right now. Look, we have Facebook, all right? Most of the sales I have made have come from Facebook. I have not spent a dime on Facebook advertising. Why? I have a Facebook community, so you have to learn how to build your audience too. There's email marketing. Who has heard of Facebook Messenger bots? Oh, beautiful. Who is on my Facebook group, Smart Camp? Praise God, at least one person in every audience is there. All right? There's about 40,000 people there, okay? And because I build that audience, when I have a new product, I don't have to spend a dime in advertising. I just put it out there and we make sales, okay? So it's very simple. Build your audience, but you must have the audacity first to productify your knowledge. There's so much wealth in people's minds here, but most people are shy. Most people, and I say this from experience, people come with all this kind of feedback. They don't like the way you sound, all right? I hate to call names, but let me just give an example. One of the, I'm up here now. Let me just try to make a euphemism. One of the harshest voices I've ever heard is that of Tony Robbins. It does not sound delicate at all. It's a bit harsh, and it can be hard to listen to. But that guy has topped the charts on Audible. You know what Audible is? It's Amazon's portal for audiobooks. His audiobooks have been #1 bestsellers for years in 5 countries. All right? So when you say, I don't like the way I sound, it's not for you, it's for them. So you're not, even if you don't like it, it's not for you to eat. It's for them, all right? So go out there, practice. Screencast-o-matic.com, write it down. That is a free tool you can use to create your own video course. And you don't have to show your face, you can create screencasts. Create slides, and then screencast-o-matic.com will record the slides and make the whole thing into a video course. I used to sell courses running into tens of millions of naira every month without leaving my house. It's not a hype, this thing works, all right? But you have to at least try it. And I remember my previous point about growth. Some of you now will hear this thing and go and dabble in it. 3 months, you're not making much sales, you will jump out to the next best thing. Your life is moving, 3 months, the time is adding up. Stay in that thing and let it grow. If you can get 1 customer, praise God, increase that to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5. And in no time, that momentum will begin to pick it up. So there's, again, like I said, there's money in anything. But you have the patience to see it through. If there's one skill that you can learn to master, it's about starting and finishing. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for John. He's giving us freely what people pay thousands and millions for. Thank you. We'll just answer a final question about how all of us can contribute to the success story of Africa as a whole. But before then, I'd just like to touch a little, because you're also, you're a blogger as well, so just touch a little on how we can use the internet to leverage our different products or businesses or brands, and then we'll both answer a question about how we can all contribute to Africa's success story as a whole.
Okay, I think whatever you are into, even if you are not online to have a business or to make money, you can have a voice. Even if you have a particular career, let's say you are an HR expert now, you can have a voice using online tools. You can have a blog, you can have a website, you can, like he has talked extensively about having courses. So I think whether you are in it to do it as a business to make money, or you are in it to enhance something you are already doing, there's limitless opportunities for you if you want to go online. So, but what I always encourage people is, like they say, everybody has a story. And from when we started this discussion, we all have something. So you may think that, okay, I'm not so good at this, but there's something you have that other people don't have, and that's the key thing you should look out for. So even if you are not an expert in, online marketing and stuff, but you are good in a particular field, that can be a tool to help you amplify your voice, or put you out there more, So I think for many people who are not necessarily looking to make money online or to use it you are not into business, that's an area you can also look into.
Yes, I'm just saying, we talked about how to build our success stories individually, but when it comes to developing the continent, developing the nation, just name a few points in that regard, and then you'll continue from there, so we can
Okay, I think basically it starts with you. You know, you thinking of many young people these days. You know, we first think of ourselves, especially because of the way the country and the continent as a whole is. You know, you're thinking of yourself and want to be a success first before you think of developing your country. You know, but the thing is, like they say that sometimes you are looking at the end, like this is where I'm going to, and you are so focused on that. But in getting to the end, you have to go through a process. And the success is also in that process. So as you're a Nigerian trying to find a way for yourself, in doing that, you can also add value. You know, I think at the end of the day, it boils down to value in whatever you do. So you may not necessarily be called, you may not have a big, huge calling, you know, not be a speaker or somebody who has a big, tremendous influence. But in whatever you do, you know, you can add value. He is doing stuff online, making money, building business, but at the end of the day, the basic thing you are doing is you are adding value. You're adding value to people and then it's coming back to you. So I think that's the key thing for young people in telling success stories or looking for success in Africa. Yes, it's about the value you had. Even before you get to what your own goal or you achieve your own dream, in the process of getting there, in everything you do, adding value, providing services, adding value to people you meet along the way. Yeah. So it trickles down, you know, and at the end of the day, it all adds up.
So I think when we all contribute, when we play our parts, it eventually does work out.
Yeah.
Please put your hands together for her. Last words on this.
Okay, so for those of you who follow me online, I think only 5% of my content is on business. Have you noticed? Yes. Most of my content is on values. And I realized something way before I came on here, way before I started, that when you are a superstar at something that you do, they will listen to anything you say. It was my duty to be a star at what I do. I'm not going to be the kind of person that only 5 people know. No, my goal was to be known by as many people in an excellent fashion. Then anything I say, you will listen. Has anybody heard have a one-night stand, experiment, have fun in your 20s? Who has said that before? Did anyone hear it? Good. Some people love that line. Some people took that thing as gospel. Why? Because the person who said it was a star. And that kind of thing, in my younger years, would infuriate me. And that was one of my motivations. Be the best at what you are doing. Be the kind of person that young Nigerian people want to be like. And when you talk, they will listen. Now today, my platform has about 40,000 people and my content is shared widely, and that's what I want. That is how, just the way God created man in his image.